The wind cuts through the streets of South Chicago like a blade, sharp and unforgiving. Winter has wrapped the city in gray. Gray skies, gray buildings, gray faces rushing past one another with their heads down. Snow gathers in the cracks of the sidewalk, dirty and forgotten, just like the dreams of many who live here. Near a rattling subway entrance, where the ground trembles every time a train roars beneath the city, stands a small boy. He can't be more than 12. His jacket is too thin for the cold, the zipper broken, the sleeves slightly too long as if it once belonged to someone else. His shoes are worn at the edges, soaked from melted snow. His hands are red and trembling, not just from the cold but from nerves. This is his stage. He takes a deep breath, and then he sings. At first his voice is soft, almost shy, floating uncertainly into the air. People walk past him without slowing down. Businessmen with coffee cups, students with headphones, mothers pulling children along by the hand. To them, he is just another street kid. Another voice lost in the noise of the city. But then something changes. The boy closes his eyes, and his voice opens up. It's not the voice anyone expects from a child who looks like this, raw, powerful, aching with emotion far beyond his years. The sound echoes against the brick walls, slipping into the spaces between footsteps and car horns. A woman stops walking. A man turns his head. Someone pulls out their phone, not to scroll, but to listen. The song isn't just music. It's pain, it's hunger, it's hope. Every note carries the weight of nights spent worrying, of days spent helping instead of playing, of dreams whispered quietly so they won't be crushed by reality. A few coins drop into the small open guitar case at his feet. He doesn't look down. He doesn't sing for the money. He sings because this is the only place where he feels free. Flashback, home. The scene fades into a small, dim apartment. Paint peels from the walls. A single light flickers overhead. The heater barely works. This is where the boy lives with his mother. No father, no safety net, just survival. His mother sits at a tiny kitchen table late at night, counting bills again and again, hoping the numbers will somehow change. The boy watches from the doorway, his school backpack on the floor, his homework unfinished. "I'll be okay, Mom," he says quietly. She forces a smile, but her eyes tell the truth. Sometimes, he skips meals so she doesn't have to. Sometimes, he lies and says he already ate at school. Sometimes, he sings himself to sleep just to forget the sound of her crying in the other room. Music found him before hope did. An old radio, rescued from the trash, became his teacher. Late at night, when the city finally quieted down, he would sit on the floor and listen. Soul, gospel, rock, old classics. He didn't understand all the words, but he felt every emotion. He practiced quietly at first, afraid of bothering the neighbors. Then one night his mother heard him. She stood frozen in the hallway, tears streaming down her face as her son sang with a voice that didn't belong to the streets. It belonged to the world. "Where did you learn to sing like that?" she asked. He shrugged. "I just feel it," he said. Back to the streets day after day, he returns to the same spot near the subway. Rain, snow, cold, it doesn't matter. The streets are harsh, but they listen. They never judge. They never turn him away. Some days he earns enough to help with groceries. Some days he earns nothing at all. But every day he earns something more important. Belief. Belief that his voice matters. Belief that he is more than his circumstances. Belief that one day someone will truly hear him. At night, he watches talent shows on a cracked phone screen. He sees bright lights, cheering crowds, judges who decide dreams with a single word. One judge stands out, sharp eyes, honest reactions, impossible to impress. Simon Cowell. The boy doesn't know why, but he feels it deep inside. If I sing for him, he whispers to himself, he'll hear the truth. He doesn't dream of fame. He dreams of change, a warm home, a proud mother, a future where his voice isn't just surviving, it's soaring. The decision one evening, as snow falls gently outside the apartment window, his mother sits beside him on the bed. "There's auditions coming," she says softly, holding up a flyer she found online. "America's Got Talent, Chicago auditions." The boy stares at the paper, heart pounding. "What if they laugh?" he asks. "What if they don't?" she replies. That night, he doesn't sleep. He sings, quietly at first, then louder. Not for the streets, not for the coins, but for the dream that refuses to die. As the camera pulls away, the boy stands once more at the subway entrance, his breath visible in the cold air, his voice rising above the city. This is not just a poor boy from Chicago. This is the beginning of a moment that will change everything. The theater is enormous. Bright lights hang like stars above the stage, shining down on a single black X at the center of the floor. Thousands of seats stretch into the darkness, filled with strangers whose applause can lift dreams or crush them in seconds. Backstage, the boy from Chicago stands quietly. His hands are clasped together so tightly that his knuckles turn white. The thin jacket he wore on the streets has been replaced by a borrowed blazer, slightly oversized, sleeves rolled once at the wrist. It doesn't quite fit, but neither does this moment. A producer kneels in front of him. "Are you ready?" she asks gently. He nods, even though his heart is pounding so loudly he's sure everyone can hear it. From behind the curtain, he can hear the crowd cheering for the act before him. Laughter, applause, confidence, everything he doesn't feel right now. He closes his eyes and takes a breath. This is for Mom. This is for the streets. This is for every night I almost gave up. "Chicago, Illinois," a voice announces. The curtain begins to open. Walking into the light, the roar of the audience hits him all at once. Louder than any subway train, louder than any street corner. The lights are blinding. For a brief moment, he can't see anything at all. Then he sees them. 4 judges, Howie smiling politely, Heidi leaning forward with curiosity, Sophia warm, encouraging, and Simon Cowell. Simon sits back in his chair, arms crossed, expression unreadable. His eyes flick over the boy, his age, his size, the way he stands. The boy swallows hard. This is the man who decides everything. He steps onto the 10th, the applause fades. Silence falls over the theater like a held breath. "What's your name?" Simon asks. His voice cracks just slightly as he answers. "My name is Daniel." "And where are you from, Daniel?" "South Chicago," he says. Simon nods slowly. "And how old are you?" 12. A ripple of reaction moves through the audience. Simon raises an eyebrow. 12. Okay. And what are you going to sing for us today? Daniel hesitates. He looks out into the crowd. Thousands of faces, all waiting. He imagines his mother watching from backstage, hands clasped, praying silently. "I'm going to sing a song that helped me survive," he says quietly. Simon leans forward just a little. "All right, whenever you're ready." The first note, the music begins. Soft, simple, almost fragile. Daniel grips the microphone with both hands. His shoulders rise as he takes a breath. For half a second, doubt flashes across his face. Then he sings. The first note floats out into the theater, and something shifts. It's not loud. It's not flashy. But it's honest. The room stills. People stop moving. Judges stop blinking. Even Simon's expression changes, just barely. His eyes sharpen, focusing fully now. Daniel's voice carries the weight of the streets, the cold mornings, the skipped meals. It trembles, not from fear, but from emotion. Each lyric sounds like it's being pulled straight from his chest. As the song builds, so does his confidence. His voice grows stronger, richer, filling the massive space with ease that seems impossible for someone so small. The audience leans forward, drawn in, afraid to miss even a single note. He closes his eyes as he sings, just like he did on the streets. Only this time, the world is listening. Simon's reaction. Simon uncrosses his arms. He sits up. His skeptical expression softens, replaced by something rare, surprise. Daniel hits a note so pure, so controlled, that a murmur ripples through the crowd. Heidi's hand flies to her mouth. Sophia's eyes fill with tears. Howie shakes his head slowly in disbelief. Simon doesn't look away. For the first time, he isn't judging, he's listening. The song reaches its climax. Daniel's voice soars, raw, emotional, powerful. It's the sound of a child carrying the pain of an adult, yet still believing in hope. Tears begin to fall in the audience. A man wipes his eyes. A woman clutches her chest. Someone whispers, "Oh my God." Daniel finishes the final note, holding it just long enough to let it break hearts. The music stops. The silence, no applause. Not yet. For a moment that feels endless, the theater is completely silent. Daniel opens his eyes. Fear crashes over him. Did I mess up? Was it not good enough? Then, the crowd erupts. A standing ovation explodes through the room. Cheers thunder from every direction. People leap to their feet, clapping, crying, shouting his name. Daniel freezes, overwhelmed. He looks to the judges. Heidi is standing, applauding. Sophia is wiping tears from her cheeks. Howie gives him a heartfelt nod. Simon remains seated. The applause continues. Simon looks down, then back up at the boy. Finally, he stands. The audience screams even louder. Daniel's knees tremble. Simon walks closer to the desk, eyes locked on the boy. That, Simon says slowly, was not just a good audition. The room goes quiet again. That was real. Daniel's breath catches. You didn't come out here trying to impress us, Simon continues. You came out here and told the truth. And that voice, he pauses, emotion creeping into his voice. That voice comes from a place you can't teach. Daniel feels tears running down his face. Simon nods once, and I think America needs to hear more of it. Daniel doesn't know what that means yet, but he's about to find out.